Today, I'm back with another mega physical media ranking video for you all. First, I'm talking the top 5 worst packaging out of the Criterion collection that I own in my own personal collection. Basically, overall packaging design and art design that makes you say, ooh, I really don't care about that. And I would probably not have picked up that Criterion title unless I really love the movie. Because really, the art design ain't selling you on any of these. They're pretty garbage, at least in my opinion. And then I'm going to go over my top 5 favorite overall packaging design from Criterion that I own in my personal collection. Those art designs that say, oh, you know what? Criterion took a little bit more time with this. They made it really unique to fit the style of the movie here and really entice consumers in picking these up just based off the overall design. You see it in a Barnes & Noble, you're like, ooh, that looks really cool. I got to pick that one up. So 5 worst, 5 best for overall Criterion packaging design. But before we get into that, of course, you love collecting physical media just like me and also the Criterion boutique label out there. You're in the right spot. Go ahead and mega smash that like and subscribe. That way I can keep you entertained and up to date on all future physical media topics. And leave in the comments below your favorite packaging design from Criterion, your least favorite packaging design. And once again, these are all just personal opinions out there. So let's not get too wild there in the chat, because once again, you may love some of this packaging where I just don't really care for it, and that's perfectly okay. But let's get right into this. So at the bottom here, we're gonna have chilly scenes of winter, and this is just such a boring cover to me. You got a lot of empty white space around here because it's snowing, but really you only have a cabin or a house in the middle. You see a little car and you have a person intently looking at it, but you don't see his face. So not really much to sell you on the movie. You got the chilly scenes of winter kind of squeezed down in the corner with a very tough to read font. It's like gray on white, just nothing really popping out here. And I don't really know what this movie is about from the front cover. It just doesn't look very interesting either. And I actually quite like this one. It's a drama with romance in there, but you wouldn't get that this had any romance in it because you just got this one guy looking down depressed. I mean, you get a little bit of the overlining tones of the movie, but not enough to really sell you on anything here. And when you compare this to other Criterion covers, you look at this on the shelf, you're just like, this one's kind of boring compared to the other ones. And I probably would not pick up this movie unless it was highly recommended to me. So I just felt like they could have done something a little bit better here, just with the overall design. It just doesn't come into focus very well, and I just don't like that for my Criterion packaging. So yeah, we could have done better with chilly scenes of winter. All right, next up, we are going to have Punch Drunk Love. Yes, the Adam Sandler dark comedy, dramedy, whatever you want to call it. But you don't get too much from this cover here. You got Adam Sandler looking down, it's so sad. And then you got the lady just on him looking sad as well. So apparently the romance isn't going well here. But you don't really get any dark comedy aspect out of this. And the movie does have some funny moments and some weird, bizarre, whimsical, dreamlike sequences. You don't really get that from the front cover either. It's kind of plain. Punch Drunk Love is a little tough to see here, kind of squeezed in at the bottom with that font. I don't love this one overall. It doesn't capture to me the full intention of the movie, and it just doesn't get me excited about picking this one up. Once again, when I see it on the shelf compared to the other titles from Criterion, I just don't really get hyped up about this one. It's just not as punchy as I would like it to be. So once again, has to be towards the bottom of the list. All right, next up, we are going to have Blowout. Yeah, so tough to read any of the words on here. You can see that young John Travolta in the back, but you kind of almost got to squint a little bit to even see him and recognize it's John Travolta. Come on, you got John Travolta in your movie. That better be a big selling point. Put him front and center, see his face, right? But it's so busy, this front cover, so many things happening here. You almost are just blurred by it all because there's a lot of colors in here, but they're washed out colors too. So not a lot of colors pop in here, but you wouldn't know what this movie is about. What is it about? I mean, you look at it, you're like, you really got to look closely. You're like, oh, okay, I see film on the ground. Is this a movie about Hollywood filmmaking? But you don't really get that it's about a sound mystery thriller of sorts. And this is actually quite a good movie, in my opinion, but you just don't get that screaming off the front cover. Like I said, I just don't like the overall art design here. I don't like the font style. I just think it's so much going on. Too busy to where you don't get enough of anything to really sell you on the intention of the movie. So this one just doesn't really blow me away. And come on, it's Blowout, right? Thought we could have done better, Criterion. All right, next up, we gotta have Mildred Pierce, yes, very classic movie. Now, I do like the font style here, which is why it's a little bit higher up on my list. And I do like the purpley background. Once again, another reason why it's a little bit higher up on my list. But you don't have too much else going on. You can see it's a night scene with the lamppost. You got a lady just standing over a bridge. But what's going on really with the movie here? You just don't get too much, not enough to entice me to pick up a classic movie. Like, where's, the mother-daughter in here? That relationship, I just thought that should have been shown off on the front cover since it's such a main part of the movie right there. I just felt like we could do something more with more characters on here. I don't want to get it too busy now, don't get me wrong, but here it's just the character so small, you can't really see, what they're looking at there. Like, what happened? Did someone fall off the bridge? What's going on exactly? So even though I don't think it's terrible, it's not the worst, of course, because it's more higher up, it just isn't that great either. And if I wasn't recommended highly on this one, I probably would not pick up this movie. So yeah, it has to be on kind of the lesser packaging list for me. All right, next up, we got to have The Game. And this one just, so disappointed with this cover. A lot of empty space around. You see the blackness there. And then The Game's really tough to read that title. It's so tiny. And you got the lines kind of distorting it right there. I do like the blue and greens right there. And you can see the little person, which is cool. But everything's just too small and too distorted to really get a great image here. And you don't get that this is like a mystery thriller, very intense, suspenseful movie. To me, when I see this one, I'm like, okay, is this sci-fi purely? Is it in space because of all the black space around, a person falling, is that gravity right there? It just doesn't really sell you on what the movie's actually about. And I think that's a shame because this is a really good 90s modern-ish thriller, but you don't really get that from this front cover. It just kind of looks plain and boring, not a great use of space, not a great font style. Not selling me the right way, unfortunately. So this cover was playing some sick games with us, not the right kind of game to get on my best packaging list. So had to put that at the bottom. All right, let's get into now my top 5 favorite packaging designs out of Criterion overall that I have in my collection once again. So first up, we got to have, this packaging design just sold me on this movie itself. I love this one, Menace to Society. You see the cutouts right there with the two. Really, really cool. And you got the characters, the two like main characters right there, which is awesome. It just has a good overall feel. I mean, you can, take it out. I love the slip boxy kind of digibook design. It just feels really nice. It just really pops too with just the overall design. The red just, really picks up my attention. I love that. And you can clearly see the title. It just works. It just looks so good, right? Good use of space on this one. And I just think it all works. So Menace to Society, excellent packaging in my opinion, and really good movie as well. Kind of a really street level crime drama type of movie, very intense, but love that design. All right, next up we are going to have, yes, the Slippy Dippy of Time Bandits. I love this lenticular cover right here. It's so shiny, and that just definitely sticks out on the shelf for sure. And once again, it's lenticular. I think this is the first time Criterion's done lenticular, but correct me if I'm wrong. But like, hey, it's moving, it's so cool. And that really catches the sci-fi elements of the movie. And so I think this works with the theme of the movie. I think it's really cool. I think you see this and you're like, Time Bandits. What's that ship doing there? That looks so cool. I love the blues and the reds, and it just works really well. It just makes me want to pick it up based on the front cover alone. I love the slip cover with it. Once again, the lenticular nature of it all just all works for me. So I love this Time Bandits cover. And yeah, once again, a really solid movie as well. All right, next up, we got to have a recent one I just picked up in the sale. We got a Pinocchio from Guillermo del Toro, of course. And I just really like this design. Of course, you can see on the front, look at those top motion animated characters. Very artistic, very beautiful looking portrait in a way. Just looks so good. Good use of space there. And then, of course, the best part of this, when you take it out, let's be careful with this one. We don't want to mess it up now. So beautiful. Let's look at this. Okay, so you got Pinocchio, right? And you're like, where's his nose? Where's his nose, right? And then we flip it over. Whoop! Pinocchio's nose. I love that. Such a unique design from Criterion. just so interesting, very cool, fits with the movie perfectly, and it closes like it just kind of, clasps the book close, which is really cool, like a bedtime story for Pinocchio, of course. And I love this one. Such a cool design, so unique, so different from Criterion, and so there's just something special about it. I like when Criterion can do something a little bit different, a little bit special, a little bit unique here. Just very, very cool. It does take a little while to put it back in the box, so we'll leave it there for now. That's only drawback. That's you got to put it in the box, kind of, very gently. You don't want to break the nose off now. That's one mark against it. You don't want to break the nose now, but very cool overall design. Highly, highly recommend. Sorry, I was playing with that for like a minute there. Oops. Let's move on. All right, next up, we gotta have Dazed and Confused. Oh my gosh. Now, this is a busy cover that I just think works because as a coming of age kind of high school story, you can see, how somebody would like doodle in their notebook, really just cartoony, artistic designs. And then I love the cutouts too. I always love when Criterion does cutouts and you show different characters for some reason. That to me just really stands out. I love that. And it's just so cool. The reds and the blues and the whites really just kind of pop right there. Very, very nice looking. And, they continue the same thing on the back. The back looks beautiful, of course. So good. I mean, Dazed and Confused, that just pops right there. The reds and the blues. Oh, so beautiful. And then the inside, of course, and slippy boxy, of course. I love when you get the slippy boxes, but it doesn't stop. I mean, oh my God, I just got to be careful with it. It's so nice. I want to be careful with it. But look at that. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful artistic design, and just all around so good looking. I mean, you look at the back too, it's just woo, out of this world. Very nice looking. I love seeing all those characters once again. And then on the inside, I mean, oh my gosh. It's just it's so beautiful. It's beautiful. That disc is beautiful. I just really like this one. Oh my gosh, you got so much more in here. You got a little notebook, a little supplemental book with it. Oh my gosh, that's so nice. So nice from Dazed and Confused. So yeah, I really, really like this overall design. It's so good. So just so classy for Criterion. Just really great. Fits the movie style perfectly. And once again, I just want to see them do more unique designs like that. So I love it. So good. All right. And then my number one, my favorite overall packaging design from Criterion collection that I own in my collection. Once again, I don't own everything, but we got to go with a classic here with The Princess Bride. Yeah, baby. This is amazing right there. I don't know why I went Austin Powers there. It made no sense. But of course, you got a beautiful, little kind of like that romance design right there. I love the golds, and purple just really stands out. But what that really captured here for me in terms of overall design was it's a book, right? It's a book. It's a bedtime story book, just like the movie. Got the bedtime story of The Princess Bride. That is so cool. That's like fourth wall breaking right there for Criterion, and I love that. I love how they can bring it, and it feels so nice. Like you can't feel it through the screen, but it feels like a book. It feels so good. Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh. The inside is beautiful too, of course. Inside, like look at that, like perfect book design. Like look at that, like you're gonna read a bedtime story. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, so gorgeous. Oh my gosh, just I love the purples and the golds too. Perfect for a bedtime princess story. It's so good, right? It's so good. So because it has that book design, and once again, that fits their partnership with Barnes and Noble, right? Barnes and Noble is all about the books here. You just got it because of that connection where Criterion is really fulfilling that they are the go-to partnership for Barnes and Noble with showing a book off with a movie, like movie book Inception. Oh my gosh. I've always loved this design. One of the first titles I ever picked up from Criterion, just based on the design alone. And of course, it's a fun family adventure, swashbuckling tale. But it's so good, this design, right? Like, how can you do better than this? I just highly recommend this design. It's so, so good. But there we go. Once again, those were my 5 favorite packaging designs from Criterion I have in my collection, my 5 least favorite I have in my collection. Once again, I don't have everything, so I would love to hear your guys' thoughts out there. What are some of your favorite packaging designs, least favorite, in the comments below? Let's have fun, friendly fan conversations down below. Of course, we're just, talking the movies we love. If you haven't already, go ahead and mega smash that like and subscribe. That way I can keep you entertained and up to date on all the latest physical media topics and all this Criterion goodness, of course. And then if you love this physical media topic, which I know you did, go ahead and mega smash this next Criterion video right now where I talk about the most underrated and overrated Criterion movies. And thank you so much, my Mega membership supporters. If you love talking and collecting movies, consider joining the Mega League of Film Fans through memberships to support content creation while gaining access to perks like shoutouts, exclusive videos, and future topic choices.